Hello, welcome back to Shit They Don't Tell You. I'm Nikki Limo.
What's up? It's the Crypto King.
And today we are going to answer, for the first time this year, embarrassing, questions that you have submitted to our email podcast@nikki.limo. That's podcast@nikki.limo. If you want to submit questions, we will answer them or do our best to answer them. We are not experts in any field, but you can ask a question in any field and we will attempt to answer it.
Damn right.
And, hope you didn't ask anything embarrassing because I haven't pre-vetted these questions yet. Also, if you're part of our Patreon, patreon.com/sticky, STIKKI, we'll try to get to your questions first.
100%.
And we also do cool shit over there. Steve has a crypto corner that he does once a week. He goes on like 4-hour streams about answering all of your crypto questions, getting everyone onboarded, all kinds of stuff. There's an awesome Discord community that can also help you out. Best ever. And we do live streams once a month where we do a free roll poker tournament with cash prizes. So it's a good time. Get on over there, check it out. It's the best thing you could do to support the show if you like the show. Legit. And keep our producer Mark employed with us.
Keep Mark employed.
So keep Mark employed. $5 for you. All right, let's jump right into it because I have not opened our email for a while. Well, for a little bit, there was no questions. And then I think they just kind of came in without me realizing it.
Well, we started to ask again.
Yeah. So that does help. And I think answering people's questions helps too. So this is the first question. This was submitted on December 28th, 2023. I'm so sorry. Wow, it's embarrassing, honestly. We've never gone this long.
Never, ever.
In between questions, but I just didn't think anyone was submitting.
What's our excuse?
I didn't. I haven't. I'm sorry. Yeah. I apologize.
So just say sorry. Exactly.
Okay. Hello, Nikki and Steve, longtime listener and emailer Rocky from Texas. Hey, what's up, Rocky? Back with some more questions for y'all. First off, compliments. I'm thankful. Oh, yeah, we live off compliments. It's been a while since we've taken these questions, but like it is embarrassing, and we appreciate your compliments. We don't deserve them, but we appreciate them anyway, and we will take them. Yeah. So Rocky says, I am thankful that it is now 2024 and y'all are still making the show after y'all's year-end recap, knowing how busy y'all have been. I really appreciate y'all's hard work and dedication to us, the podcast listeners. Again, we are so sorry. So sorry. We don't deserve these compliments, but I am gonna still take them. To your vlog fans, I say, take that, suckers. Because we've stayed dedicated to the podcast, but I'm so sorry to my vlog channel as well.
Move on.
Anyway, we still get the podcast. Y'all don't get the vlogs. LOL. Yeah. I've always looked up to y'all as relationship goals. I hope to find my special someone someday. I've been married 20 years.
Oh, wow. 20 years.
I have been married 20 years. Hopefully I will find my soulmate someday. I think it's a joke.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, that's funny. My question for y'all is, as someone who has turned most of your hobbies and interests into income/jobs, what are some first steps you can take? Example, my son has a small, loyal fan base on Twitter and Instagram. He does daily recaps of the show General Hospital. Okay, he's 9 now. He started recapping. This is so niche. I love it. He started recapping the show when he was 6. His mom controls everything that he does, everything he doesn't get online himself. They watch, so she controls everything he doesn't get online himself. They watch the show together and he does a quick recap for the people who couldn't watch that day. He has about 5,000 followers on Twitter and 2,300 or so on Instagram. Only problem is he makes no income from this. He is popular enough to have a small following, but not big enough to make money. We are not the type of parents that would keep the income from him that he made. Keep the money from him, basically. He works hard on the videos and is super talented. He has been interviewed by some soap opera podcast and even a very popular actor on General Hospital. That's cool, which was super cool for him, but it didn't lead to a bigger follower increase like I thought it would. I'm biased since he is my son, but he's really good. We have a link tree, but nothing has really come of it. What would y'all do? What is the shit they wouldn't tell you about trying to make money from online content?
The money will come later, bro. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Never think of it.
I love this show. I will say again, I'm grateful that y'all continue the show because so many podcasts have stopped this past year. You're forever number one fan from Texas. Yes, even over Jess from Big Mood. Rocky from Texas. Okay, Rocky, thank you so much for submitting. We appreciate the compliments.
It's rough out there for a pimp, honestly.
Yeah.
For a pimp doing a podcast, it's rough.
It is.
Every goddamn comedian in the world has a podcast now.
Well, yeah, I mean, and sometimes you're like, are people bored of it? Should we change it up? And I don't know. I think at some point, Steve and I just both decided that we just want to talk about what we want to talk about. So that's
where the show started. That's where it is.
And a lot of people obsess over what will get the most views and listens. And I
make the most money.
I know that's the right move in the game, like that you should be doing, but also like it's an outlet, and we try to help as many people without also sacrificing and doing something like that we just don't want to do.
Yeah.
Right. But so thank you for listening. We appreciate that. This has been something that's been the most consistent over the past
that we've both ever done.
From 6 years now.
Yeah.
So to address your question, it just happened, and it was when we weren't focused on the money. Everything that I've ever had happen to me has been when I'm just genuinely interested
100%.
and curious and excited to do the thing, and then the money came after.
Yes.
Like came later. And sometimes I've been like, is this sustainable? Is it always gonna whatever? And like for whatever reason, it always finds a way if you're truly being authentic in the thing that you're passionate about. Yeah. And now your son, I don't think he needs to worry about that right now. He's 9 years old, so he doesn't have to worry about like, oh, what if I never get my income from this? So like he actually has the freedom to play around, to build an audience, to like understand how all of this works over time and watch it grow. If you can
focus on the joy instead of like worrying about the money part, the money will come later. But if you are focused on the money part and not the joy part, people are going to tune out. Yeah,
and it becomes very obvious.
Yes.
Like it's
just people can suss it out quick.
And you know what? I always wondered too, like, so like if you put all this emphasis into your son right now doing these recaps of General Hospital, and let's say he loses interest in like a few years, and you put all this like time and dedication into making this work, you kind of get like the sunken cost fallacy one, where it's like you're forcing your kid to do something that he's maybe no longer interested in. So like you don't want to run the risk of that if like let's say he starts making tons of money and now like you're basically golden handcuffed to like this format that maybe he wants to explore other formats.
So true.
I'm telling you, like the joy of exploring different formats and kind of like figuring it out as you go is part of the whole journey. Like because I think it's sometimes unfortunate when people go viral for one thing and then they feel stuck having to do that same thing because their audience doesn't like when they do anything else. So, and that's happened to all of our friends before.
Tay Sunday, man, I've never seen anything like it. And again, I like to use like extreme examples to underline like what I think are great points. Mm-hmm. Like we watched Tay Sunday do Chocolate Rain, and then like he has to do Cherry Chocolate Rain, and then he's doing like Chocolate Rain variants almost after that, and like it just becomes. And
whenever he tries to do something else, it like
they go fuck you. Where's more Chocolate Rain?
Exactly.
And that's what happened. So it's a great example, and it's but he's a very reasonable person, so he knows that's what happened to him, but. Don't like fall for that. Just focus on the joy of it, I think, and not the commercial aspect of it. Because for him, Chocolate Rain paid off, right?
Yeah.
And then he did Cherry Chocolate Rain. He got Super Bowl money, right? Super Bowl commercial money.
Yeah.
And then, because of that, people started going, whoa, what's the next Chocolate Rain iteration, right?
Yeah.
Instead of like, what are you about?
Yeah.
And and this is like for everybody. If you just focus on what you like what you're focused on and what you like, you'll probably do better.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he kind of was joking about the vlog channel and like, haha, you guys don't get vlogs, but we still get podcasts. And like, I've gotten comments before like, hey, if you don't start vlogging soon, like your subscribers are going to leave. And it's like, look, I don't want people to leave. I love everybody that's on my vlog channel. I miss my vlog channel like so much. But I also can't force it when there's like other things happening organically around me that's capturing my interest in a very like focused way where I have
creative, what do you call it, battery?
Yeah.
Is
it can't be that spread thin because I've done that before too, like where I try to do everything and it's just bad all the way around. I don't get anything good done. So while I've thought I was going to return much sooner. Mm-hmm. It's just taken a little bit longer than I thought. And when it does happen, it'll be great because it'll be like the right time for that to happen. And I feel like every time I've ever tried to force something, it doesn't work out very well.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
It's not even that I don't want to do them. It's like I really want to do them. I just don't have I don't have the game plan set where like I don't want to stop. So like once I start, I don't want it to ever go this long ever again without posting. So I'm just like having to figure out a way to jump back in.
She's been filming, by the way. It's not like.
But back to your son.
Yeah.
So there's this channel. I got fish given to me last summer where I didn't ask for fish, and it was like a prank almost, but then like I can't just like throw these fish out. So then I got obsessed with watching fish channel videos of how to like take care of guppies, and specifically like guppies, because that was what I got. And like I found out each fish has different parameters that they need their water to be like, so I had to watch specific to guppy videos. Anyway, there's this one channel that I really felt like was easy to follow along with, and I loved watching this girl's channel. She makes a lot of shorts, and her shorts, she posts like them every week, but her channel goes back a decade, and she's like this little kid when she started this channel. And I guess she was 13 years old when she started her channel, and she's 23 now. And now she still makes videos about fish. It's still about guppies. She started with like one little tank of guppies and like shared how to clean their tanks and how to feed them properly and how to do all this stuff. And then it evolved to like where now she has a guppy farm, and she breeds glass belly guppies. They're like the rarest kind of guppies. And now she's a fish breeder, and she like has a business where she like males guppies out, but she also like makes sure they have the best quality, like the water. And she branched out to a different type of fish too, fancy goldfish. But she like takes insane care of these fish and like shows people how to like treat sick fish, or like what to do with like to euthanize ones that are not going to make it, like, you know, to do it in a way that's like caring for the fish, you know. And she like really loves fish, but that's so rare to see like something that you're into as a kid and you never lost interest in it, and her YouTube channel just like stayed the same thing.
How does she euthanize a fish?
So like if they have defects and like they're probably not going to make it, like there's like a way where it's like a cinnamon clove mix, and you like shake it. I know I couldn't do it.
God.
I know it's pretty crazy.
I'm out.
I know it's devastating.
Oh, I'm out.
I like had a hard time, but she explained all of it in a way that was
it's like Christy Noam saying she shot a dog or whatever. I'm like, holy
no, I
fuck.
can't. But the fish, like, she's like, these fish are gonna have like I don't know. Anyway,
first of all, we have one of her fish, so
she's really passionate about fish.
Like her.
I bought a fish.
Yeah, we have her fish, so don't worry about it.
2 fish, and that's a whole.
One of them made it.
Yeah, it was not her fault, and it was 100% on the postal service who said that they were going to. They said they were going to need an in-person signature, so I waited around all day. Never heard from the door. Never got a confirmation email, so I was like, oh, I guess it's just not happening.
Thankfully, me.
And they were outside all on a winter night.
Thankfully, me. I was like, I'm just gonna check. And that's how.
Yeah, I was like, you didn't hear the door, did you? Like,
no.
Because I was supposed to get fish yesterday.
Nothing.
And then we checked, and it was like, oh my God, they were outside all night.
Yeah.
And like guppies thrive in 80-degree fish water. Yeah. And like, that was so sad. It came with heating packs too, but it doesn't work at all night, you know? Anyway, my point is this girl stayed hungry for learning more and more and more and more about guppies, and then sharing it with the audience. And so her channel has like, I don't know, 500,000 subscribers or whatever. And she gets like a healthy amount of views, and she monetizes, and she also has this fish breeding business, but she found it over time, like over a decade. Like when she was 13, guarantee you these videos were not getting like hundreds of thousands of views. Yep. She was just like happy to put them up, and happy that even like 100 people watched it, and maybe 2 of them commented or something.
YouTube truly feeds a niche.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you have a niche, which is General Hospital Reviews is definitely a niche.
Definitely.
He's building a following. Stay excited about that. Yeah. Like jumping straight to the monetization part is just going to stress you out.
Lock in on the joy, focus on the joy.
Yeah. And the
reason why you ever started making the videos is what you should always focus on.
And I don't even know how to properly monetize Twitter and Instagram. No. Nothing competes with YouTube, which is upsetting, and also just like that's just the platform where they monetize the easiest.
By the way, I did, not to brag, but I guess I should, credit to me, I did an improv show with the entire cast of General Hospital and the entire cast of, I believe it was Guiding Light or something at the time. But just to confirm what you're saying, he's like, we did an interview with one and it didn't do nothing. Yeah, these people don't have fans. Not really.
Well, and
Not really.
Not just that, but collabs in general don't do as well. Like, you used to collab on YouTube in like 2010, and someone shouts at your channel and like a bunch of
would
their
boost you.
people go over.
Yeah.
But it's not really like that
It's too
anymore.
saturated
There's
now.
just so many people
Yeah.
making content, and people are used to just being able to scroll
Yeah.
really quickly. But I also don't think subscribers is the correct metric for success and health of your channel anymore. It's more about like views and engagement and people like actually tuning into what you want to say on a consistent basis.
But I also still believe in the idea behind collaboration, where like if someone provides a value add to your channel,
Yes.
like, and over time, your audience will just love them too.
Yeah.
Like, no different than like, you know, for example, Crypto Corner. Everyone loves my brother Kenny
But
because
not
he's
doing
on
it
there every week.
transactionally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he has his own thing, Kenny Corner thing he does on Twitch. But it's not really about that. It's like people just like him, and then they just go follow him to Twitch because they like him already.
Yeah.
And that's like the to me that's the best way to do it.
There's this kid that I follow on Instagram who makes dresses, and like some celebrities started like wearing his dresses and stuff, and it just happened like naturally, and you can see like the genuine excitement the kid has.
It's cute.
And like that kind of stuff
Yeah.
like resonates with people, and more so than like the immediate return of like, oh, but we didn't get any followers from it. It's like, well, maybe not, but like the like excitement and like the way that like the audience is gonna be like, oh my god, he got to meet so and so
That's
who
cool.
he's a big fan
That's
of.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah, it's neat for your audience, but
Exactly.
it's not gonna happen overnight, and definitely not with like it shouldn't be transactional. It should just be like, oh, this helps my show, and it's a good fit.
It's a good grind, believe it or not.
Yeah.
But if you can handle it.
Yeah. And if you just don't get too wrapped up in numbers, because that's the other thing too, is like
Yeah, the numbers is different.
when you start monetizing and then you're like, oh, our numbers dropped, and then you become obsessed with like metrics, and I don't know, it can get very grating on your soul.
I was talking to a buddy tonight about a big tuber, and we were positing if this guy even likes it or if he likes seeing the numbers grow. Like, does he like filming it?
Yeah.
Or does he like seeing the numbers grow? And like, if he experiences even 1/4 of like negative growth that way, will he just end it all? We just
Right.
don't know.
Right.
And that's part of what I'm saying, right? Like, focus on the joy.
Yeah. Agreed. All right. So hopefully that helps.
Yeah.
Just let it grow naturally and let him like explore different things.
Legit.
Like, do what like he likes to do, and just see where it goes, and be like
And don't take
excited
it too
about
serious.
the journey.
Take it serious enough to you know, actually upload.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The consistency
Yeah,
is important,
so
but
important.
like it's not a linear growth.
No.
And people don't get that about like this industry. It's not like, oh, and over time I grew steadily and it was like a line like this. No. It's like this weird exponential thing where like one video takes off randomly,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you get viral growth, and it just like
Dumps
it's
into
like
other
a
videos.
weird curve
Yeah,
that
it's
goes
the weirdest
straight
thing.
up.
Yeah.
Instead of like a linear graph like this
For
that
real.
like slowly grows over time. So don't worry about it. Over time, if you just keep showing up and you're genuinely excited about it and you genuinely are interested in that niche, then it'll just happen
Exactly.
for you. That just can't not. All right. Thank you for submitting.
Seriously.
Rocky, we love you. Moving on, this next one was submitted on January 25th. Says, please help, should they don't tell you, in all caps.
Oh, Jesus.
We're so sorry.
She's playing poker.
It was more than that, but yes, I was.
Let's say that.
It's I was also producing a whole
Let's
other.
just say you're playing poker.
That sounds really cool.
Thank you.
Okay, so hi Nikki and Steve. I've been a longtime fan of your content and the JK crew. Watch every episode of JK News. Love Steve Day and listen
Also,
to
Dave, love you.
every shit they don't tell you during my commute. We love you. Thank you so much for that. I've been with my girlfriend for almost 3 years now, and we have an apartment together and a lovely 13-year-old cat. Wow. We've been going through a rough patch. So a lot of the things that I quote let slide that have been bothering me are slowly coming up to the surface. She is a nurse and works 12-hour night shifts, and I work in the same hospital during the day as a researcher, so we don't get to see each other very much. She does, however, always seem to make time for her friends. She'll stay up in the morning after a shift to have drinks with her coworkers, or wake up early to meet her friends for coffee or dinner. When we do have time together, she's always too exhausted to do anything other than sleep. So it's been feeling like I'm not a priority to her. I asked if she could include me once in a while, and it doesn't seem like she puts effort into making something happen. But when I'm hanging out with my friends and their partners, I always invite her to come along. Oof, this hurts. Because of her busy schedule and sleep schedule, I took on a lot of responsibilities such as cleaning and cooking. We moved in together last June, and she has only made a meal for us once. I am Vietnamese and she's Puerto Rican/white, and for some reason, sharing food or cooking isn't a love language for her. The biggest thing right now is that she actually forgot my birthday last year. Oh, and actually made plans with her friends on the same day. Oh no.
And she followed through with them?
I let her know that I was upset about it, and she canceled her day with her friends, and we went out to dinner for a couple of days. We went to dinner a couple days later.
Oh, God.
Now my birthday is tomorrow, and I'm worried she'll forget about it again.
She did.
I mentioned to her about a week ago about my plans for my birthday, going out with my friends and coworkers, which she was invited to and doesn't want to go, and also reminded her that my birthday was coming up, and I was hurt from last year. She apologized and said she'll make it up. So far, she hasn't mentioned anything about a plan or dinner, etc., but she did tell me she's going out with her coworkers for drinks next week.
Fantastic.
And I don't know if forgetting a birthday again should be a reason to break up with someone. I know she's a nurse and her job is stressful, so am I asking for too much?
Yes.
The overarching theme is that I'm feeling like I should be more of a priority in this relationship than I am, and I feel unappreciated for the things that I do. Sorry, I tried to keep this as short as I could. Thank you so much, you rock. Best, Anonymous.
We love you, Anonymous.
Thanks, Anonymous.
Listen, why are you dragging this chick? She's trying her best.
I wonder if she forgot his birthday again.
She did.
Because this was in January, and I feel like she did. I hope that you did hit the breakup button, because it's not about the birthday.
No.
It's not about the birthday.
No.
It's never about the little surface inconsequential thing.
Yeah.
You're self-aware enough to know that that's not the reason that you're breaking up.
Yeah.
The reason is that you don't feel important in your partner's life.
And by the way, you're excusing these huge red flags because you like her, obviously.
Well, yeah, and you're trying to be very understanding, and that's really nice.
And it's just too much, though. Like, sometimes you can be too understanding.
Yeah.
And, like, it just serves you poorly.
Well, I would hate to ruin that empathy, and, like, in the next relationship, you don't have it with a person that deserves it.
Agreed.
Like, so
you can't punish
don't get rid of that.
Yeah, you can't punish your new person for what happened previously.
I don't think, I think.
Right? That's bad.
You still have to have that understanding. I like that you have the understanding.
No, we like the understanding, but, like, it's a little bit.
You're giving her a lot of rope.
It's pussy vibes a little bit. Because you're just letting her like do whatever the fuck she wants, and you're just excusing everything if she fucks up and going, she didn't mean it, she's busy.
I didn't see a lot in there about confrontation about this.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's already over. It doesn't matter.
Well, let's act like it hasn't already ended.
Well, no, I'm not. I'm
you
just
mean
saying
internally?
Internally, it's over.
Oh, okay.
But to me, she's just showing you so much disrespect. What is your relationship? It doesn't fucking matter.
She is not expressing any love language to you.
It just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What if you stayed with her? Oh, congrats. What's it mean?
Does she do cooking for you? No. So it's not acts of service. Right. Is there quality time? No. She doesn't spend any time with you. She spends time with other people instead.
Prioritizes them.
Is it physical? No. She just sleeps when she's around you. You guys don't do anything physical. And what's the other one? Compliments and valid words of affirmation.
Doesn't sound like shit already.
She hasn't appreciated you in a very long time.
Garbage factory.
Yeah, there's 0 love languages being used.
What are we doing?
You don't feel loved. You don't feel important. And that's the whole... those are 2 things you should very much feel in a relationship.
You know, relationships don't, in my opinion, have to feel like shit, which is crazy, I know, to some people. Especially to even our own friends. Like, some people... I've gone to battle with over the years because I'm like, it's not suffering, and they're like, oh no, relationships are suffering. I'm like, no, they're not.
They're work,
right? They're work,
but they're not suffering.
No, correct. But people are convinced for some reason that they're suffering, and
because that's what they were shown.
Correct.
In relationships,
and so don't be that person. Don't settle for less, right? Like, but you are settling if you're going through this.
Yeah, you're trying to be understanding to your own detriment, and. She's very clearly not prioritizing you because it's one thing to not have time and to be exhausted. Definitely been there. It's been a year of that for sure over here where it's just like, damn, like it's really hard to like, we're just like 2 ships sailing in the night sometimes because like even this week, Steve's leaving tomorrow and then I'm leaving the next day and then he comes back and then I come back when he leaves again. And it's like, damn, we're going to go another week after 2 weeks of not seeing each other.
But that is...
But the quality time together and the fact that we both want to hang out when we are together and the fact that like we are excited to hang out together and that like I don't want to hang out with anyone else. Like it's not like... I mean, I've been back for a week and I haven't played poker at all because like I just want to hang out with Steve because I haven't gotten to see him in 2 weeks. So it's about that intent. It's not about the birthday, but like the fact that she doesn't even have any intent to make you feel special or wanted or prioritize at all.
No, her friends probably feel better about her.
Yeah.
Right? That's the worst thing.
I mean, her friends she's got a great friend life, it sounds like.
Yeah, sounds awesome.
Yeah, but where do you come in? That's not really a relationship.
Exactly right.
You're the housekeeper.
Yeah.
I mean, really, like you're just like someone that takes care of the house and the cooking.
And by the way, as much or as little as I've seen Nikki lately, like we just saw our friends today, like Chad and V.
Yeah.
And like we haven't seen them in like 2 months.
Yeah.
Because it's been that bad. Like it's just like that's how it's been.
Yeah. Friends get dropped a tier below.
Exactly.
So it's like I have to make
it's not
time.
like you're hanging out with our friends more.
Right.
Like,
exactly. That
so
part
that's
would
what
really
important
hurt.
Context, right? That would be nuts.
And I've been in relationships like that.
Me too.
Where it's like, I'm busy, but then they make time for their friends.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, well, you're not busy enough
really.
for them.
No.
So are you really that busy?
Yeah. I'm not the priority. They are. And that's a problem. You should be the priority.
And if you brought that up to her and she makes you feel stupid about it, it's just over.
Yeah, there's nothing there to defend.
It's just done.
What's to defend?
Yeah, and I'm sorry. That really sucks.
We're sorry about it.
But
truly,
better days are ahead. The sooner it's over with, the sooner you find someone that like matches you and like reciprocates what you're feeling and giving to the relationship.
Legitly.
Yeah. I'm sorry though. That really it hurts. It stings.
It hurts, but also it hurts to press the breakup button. Press it, Mark. Thank you.
But confront her first. If she's like,
no, press the breakup button.
I didn't know you felt that way and I'll make a change, and then she changes, like, okay.
That's
but it's a long shot. I'd give it a 90-10 that she's...
I give it 95-5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anywho.
Hope that, honestly, this was submitted in January. I hope that you've already, like, broken up and moved on to, like, someone that...
We hope so. We'll see, though. Best
or,
of
like,
luck
not even moved on to another person, just, like, moved on mentally and you just, like, love...
And speaking of moving on, we're going to move on to a break.
Yeah.
But when we come back, we have much more questions.
A few more questions.
Correcto. So we will BRB LOL.
Hey, thanks for listening to our podcast. We just want to take a break to tell you thanks for listening to our podcast. And if you want to rate it, that would be really awesome for us.
Listen, we're on break. We're not talking to you like podcast hosts right now. We're just talking to you like people.
As a friend.
And we just want to say, please rate the show because it helps out huge amounts.
Like, we're not desperate. We're, like, kind of desperate.
We're giving shout outs right now to all the people who are giving it ratings. So huge shout out right now to Brian Jorgensen. That was sick of you, dude. Thank you. God bless. Huge shout out right now to Mark W. in Springfield, Connecticut.
Back to our podcast.
Jenny Blake.
Hey, back to our podcast.
In Tuscany,
and
Florida.
Back to our podcast.
God bless you. Thank you.
Steven.
Thank you for supporting the show.
And we're back. Thank you for joining us after this break. We have another question. This one was submitted in February. Okay, so we're coming into the year. We're getting into the year.
We're getting better.
All right, it starts off with, the title is Advice About Spouse's Family. Anonymous, please. Okay, Anonymous.
Jonathan.
Hi, Nikki and Steve. Huge fan. You guys are so great, and I love the podcast. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
We love you.
I want your advice about my feelings on spending time with my husband's family. So my family and my husband's family are very different. My family isn't super close, except for one of my sisters is my best friend. So we see each other or speak to each other every week or two, and I talk to my mom over the phone once or twice a month, but the rest of the family only gets together for holidays or occasionally a birthday. My husband's family is much more affectionate with each other, and he speaks to his parents either over text or on the phone multiple times a week. His parents usually want to see us at least once a month or more, and to me that's a lot because I'm just not used to that. I'm also extremely introverted and enjoy being with only my husband and our fur babies most of the time. Luckily, my husband is understanding of my lack of wanting to interact with other people, but I know that he would want me to see his family more often. I've opted out of a lot of his family get-togethers, and I felt guilty because he's been at almost every one of my family gatherings. So some background information in case you need it. We've been together for 6 years and married for 1. I'm the youngest daughter in my family. He's the youngest son in his family. What are your thoughts on feeling obligated to spend time with your spouse's family? How do I figure out a way to meet in the middle? Am I just an asshole? Any advice would be so amazing. Thank you. No, I don't think you're being an asshole at all.
You're being you.
Yeah, and also, especially if you're just not used to spending that much time with family, like, as I said, the time is just flying by. Like, months go by so quickly, especially this year. And the, like, seeing your spouse's family once a month doesn't sound like a lot. Like, it's just once a month.
Yeah.
But there's so few days that we get to spend together
Yeah.
that like to have to spend one of them with family as well. It kind of like, it's kind of a drain because
It's a different
I'm
obligation.
also like introverted by nature. Like I don't know, I'm an ambivert, but the way I recharge is by being alone, and my social battery drains. I can't do back-to-back social nights.
Yeah.
Like even this weekend, like we hung out with one group of friends at night and the next morning hung out with another group of friends, and I'm just like, wow, that was a lot.
You did good.
Like I loved all of those people.
You love everybody.
I love all
It's
of
not
those
about
people.
that.
It has nothing to do with
Nothing to
that.
do with it.
But I just have a battery that needs to get recharged by being alone or just with Steve and the cats.
Which is a huge compliment because that just means that she can be herself around me in the way that she can charge. So
yeah, and that I can be like quiet and don't feel obligated to talk.
Yeah.
And don't feel like guilty or like the other person thinks I'm being weird for not talking.
Never has happened. We've never actually confronted each other about any of that ever. Literally ever. It's never been a problem.
No, and like, I mean, our family lives in a different state, so we haven't had this thing happen. But like, also just hanging around your family is like a lot of introverts too. So like, I don't feel obligated to talk. And also like, we know each other so well.
Yeah.
I feel like they don't think it's rude for them not to talk or rude for me not to talk. No. We're just totally comfortable being in a room together and not talking. But like if it was like a lot of social gatherings with like if your family expected us to hang out with them multiple times a week or a month or whatever, that would be a lot. Yeah, and I don't think that. Hopefully, his family is super understanding. She didn't allude either way. But
look, there are always going to be family members who take things personally.
Yeah.
So like if you can't show up, or there's always gonna be that person who's like, whatever.
But I think like your partner kind of has to do the job of like protecting you in that way.
Exactly
where,
what
like,
I was gonna say. Yes.
They go, oh, she has a thing, or she's busy, or like this thing came up and she wants to be here.
Yeah.
So that like if. Not saying that you have to and
it doesn't always work.
It
doesn't always work, but it is important.
If one is going to get particularly offended and maybe like just a little cover up wouldn't hurt anybody, like I think that it helps both parties.
It just helps to make it all work, right?
And that being said, like I think you should spend some of the days like once every other month maybe, or like have some sort of thing where it's like, okay, I'll attend X amount of time, so it's not like, you know, you hate them, but I don't think you should feel obligated to do anything.
Yeah, and again, so Nikki was saying she's an introvert, but I'm an extrovert, so like I love hanging out with Nikki's family. So like, if anything, once a month sounds like a fucking blast to me, especially because she's like, my in-laws are the shit. Like, like Mama Limo and Papa Limo, they're the best people ever. Like, I'm just so fortunate that I have those people.
I know, and I love your family too.
Oh, exactly. But so I just feel lucky, but like, again, I'm just a different personality type.
I think that time management is really hard for me. And so when I have like very few even hours of a day to like give and like free time to give, or like elective time basically.
Yeah, definitely.
I get really choosy over where those hours should go or those days should go, because I have to be. And also I start feeling guilty if I haven't gotten all my stuff done. Yeah. And now I can't relax when I'm around family. I love being relaxed around family. If we could hang out and be relaxed, awesome. But if I haven't finished like the 99 things that I had to get done, and now I have to try to be relaxed, it just isn't happening. I'm thinking about all those things that I'm ignoring and that I have to catch up on later. And I feel guilty about that while I'm hanging with family.
That's why cigars with your old man and Uncle Bob, like at Christmas time, is so awesome, because everyone's relaxed. That's
why Christmas time is so awesome, because awesome. Like no one's expecting you to work or get projects done. There's no deadlines like around Christmas, because everyone takes it off, or like the holidays, you know. And the only time I had those deadlines were when I had like a brand deal when I was a full-time YouTuber. And it was pretty stressful, because like you're trying to get Christmas shopping done, all these personal things done, but you're also trying to get these deadlines done for like the brand deal. But now it's just like, we just take those 2 weeks off, and I mean, that way I can spend quality time. So my love language is quality time. And if I'm spending time with someone, but it's not quality, it just feels like a waste for both of us.
Yeah.
Like, because I can't give you all of me, and that's not fair. And then I also like am ignoring these things that need to get done. And so I feel guilty on top of it. And it's not a win-win situation.
No.
But I totally feel you on that. Like, I don't know if I could hang out with, if that was an expectation, but I doubt they're even putting that kind of pressure on you.
Yeah, you might be putting undue pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
Which happens.
Because it doesn't sound like it's been coming up as like,
they're not like, where are you?
Fight
hey, where
or
are you?
anything. Yeah. It's just that she feels kind of guilty.
Why doesn't she ever come around?
She feels guilty that the husband has been at all of her family gatherings, but it doesn't sound like yours happen as often.
That's basically my family.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So I don't feel guilty.
There's more Limo gatherings than there are green gatherings. And
yeah.
We go. So it just would seem like that, but it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just how it is.
Just feels like, I feel like, and if you were like, hey, I need to recharge and like I can't make it to this one. It's like, I don't feel like, oh my God, you're gonna ditch my family. Like, and none of them feel that way either. So yeah, I think
that would never happen with me.
No, and it sounds like her husband's like really understanding and has her back. So don't worry about it. Don't stress about it.
Legit.
I think you're fine. I don't think that you're being an asshole at all.
100%.
I think you're honoring your truth, to be honest.
Exactly. No, you're protecting yourself in a way, and like just knowing your own boundaries. But yeah, maybe you could push yourself a little bit. We'll see.
Yeah, like,
hey, we'll see what we can do next month, right?
Right. Like, I wouldn't say always skip it, but just like,
yeah, just like, hey, maybe I can handle a little more than I thought I could.
Sure.
I don't think that's bad.
Yeah. It's awesome that you're even thinking about it.
Seriously, exactly. You have a productive mindset.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hope that helps, and best of luck. But yeah, don't feel guilty about that. And this next one is titled "The Update You've Been Waiting For: Tommy and Andrew Polydrama." Oh my gosh, this has been an ongoing saga.
It's a bad time for me to have suntan lotion in my fucking eye, but I'll let's do it.
Get it together.
I know, I'm trying.
You got to lock in.
I know, I'm trying to I'm trying to dig deep.
Okay, if you haven't been caught up, you need to watch our past couple of Q&As, because there has been polydrama, which neither of us are qualified at all to give advice on. But we have been definitely invested in the situation.
Yeah.
So,
without judgment.
Hello, Nikki and Iceman. Of course, I have to give you some compliments. As I've said before, I freaking love you guys. I've been around since the beginning stages of Tasty Tuesdays and Steve's troll videos. Wow, that's a long time. I've not only purchased jewelry from Kittens and Coffee, but I also wear my I Just Want to Do a Good Job t-shirt. Oh my gosh.
Cute.
When I really feel like I need to let people know my intentions. That is an OG. You're
very
a real
cute,
run.
Very cute. No Crypto Corner merch, though. A pox on your house.
Now on to the saga. We last left off when I realized that I wasn't in love with Tommy anymore and I tried to leave him. Yes. He convinced me to give it another 3 months and a real effort one more time. You summarized that we should break up. This is her husband.
We nailed it.
By the way, that she is poly, but she's had feelings for the other guy, Andrew.
We nailed it.
These are all like fake names, but like, yeah. So I waited the full 3 months, but once I realized it wasn't going to work, I started going through stuff in the house and packing things up, getting ready to leave. Mm-hmm. He acted like he didn't even notice, and it took him by surprise when he came home one day in November and all my stuff was packed, and I told him I couldn't do it anymore. Yeah. I ended up spending about 3 weeks at my mom's house to give him some time to process. During this time, some of our mutual friends started blocking me on social media, including one of our roommates. Right. It really hurt to know that people would ruin a 10-year plus relationship based on a relationship that isn't any of their business. Yeah. For the last 3 months, whenever my boyfriend and I are scheduled to have an overnight, which is only once a month, we've been booking a hotel or Airbnb out of respect for Tommy. Every time we have an overnight, when I come home the next day, Tommy has had a girlfriend over that night. This last month, I told Andrew that I thought, Andrew's the boyfriend, Andrew that I thought it was time to just stay at my house, and he said that he'd get an Airbnb instead because he still wanted to respect Tommy's space.
Jesus
Once
Christ.
Again, when I got home, Tommy had his girlfriend over again, only this time she was staying another night also. To be clear, I have absolutely no ill will towards his girlfriend or her staying at the house. The thing that bothers me is that he didn't communicate to me about it. My roommates have also been having people over without informing me. I feel a bit disrespected by this since up to this point, I've informed them every time I have someone coming over, even though it's my house. That's another thing, is that it's her house. Like, she pays all the bills. Like, it's her house.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like I need to tiptoe around my own house so that I don't upset my roommates or soon-to-be ex-husband. I even feel weird taking a shower since we all share one, and I don't want to disturb or upset them. Wow, this house is wild. My therapist said that this is a time for me to be selfish, but I have never been, partially because it's not in my nature, partially because I've had a traumatic upbringing and always try to keep the peace. I'm hoping to put my house on the market come March and move into a neighboring state where I found a good deal on an apartment. I originally wanted to do this by February, but my husband convinced me to wait till March, so him and our roommates had time to save money since they apparently haven't saved anything, even though I only charge them $400 a month. Average where I live is normally $1,200 a month for one bedroom.
Bananas.
That's crazy. They're waiting on a date from the apartment they're applying for, but I'm worried they're going to screw me over even more. Between my borderline personality disorder, anxiety, ADHD, PTSD, trauma, and depression, it's been a massive struggle. My new psychiatrist is also changing up my medications, and my boyfriend isn't able to be there for me as often as I like since he's married, and she also has some mental disorders and jealousy, which we talk about through Messenger and in person when I'm over there once a week. I've been considering dating other people, but I don't really want to hurt Andrew or change our relationship. Honestly, what I feel like I really need are more friends and a cuddle buddy.
Correct.
What are some tips you have on making friends? Every time I try to communicate with someone, 9 times out of 10 they try to hit on me and just want to screw me once they find out I'm quote poly. Any advice or insights can help. Thank you for being amazing. Once again, sorry this is so long.
No, you're good.
Dazed and confused.
We love you, dazed and confused. Don't lead with your poly first of all.
Yeah.
It's like saying, "Hey, I got a real big problem."
Yeah.
What's your problem? Oh, I don't have a gag reflex. It sucks. It fucking sucks. And then the guys are immediately like, "Oh, this is gonna be sick." Okay. I'm telling you, just don't fuck with guys.
Yeah, it's true.
We have animal brains. We just go, "Oh."
You could also try to make girlfriends.
Well, correct. And that's what I was gonna say is clubs.
Yeah.
Clubs, any kind of like club sounds like I sound like a boomer. But like like
a book club, you mean?
No, not like I guess, but not exactly. Like more like hobby places, like where people. It's like, like I have a improv club, for example.
Right.
Right? Like
hiking
like
club or something?
I don't know. What fuck? Movie club?
You do some more boomery the more you talk.
I don't know. I have something lotion on my eye.
Yeah, social clubs.
Yeah, social clubs.
Right.
But any kind of like place where people are doing a common interest, I feel like you'll do much better than most people.
Yeah, I mean, like I just played poker since we moved to Vegas, and like I've met such a big community of people.
You're dating hella people,
and I love I was always the like introvert. Steve would make friends, and then I'd be like friends by default, and like I love everybody that we met through that. But like
You're
also,
welcome.
like I wasn't the one doing any work of like making the friends, right? But since we moved to Vegas, it's been crazy because I never expected to be the one making the friends.
You make hella friends.
And I've been making the friends.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's wild to me.
Yeah.
And it was just because shared interest.
Yep.
So yeah, I agree with
That's
you.
what I'm saying. Yeah.
I agree with you on that. I was like, finding something that you're interested in. It'd also probably help you just to have a creative outlet. Something
You're not
that's
focused on a relationship.
Yeah.
You're focused on a thing.
And also, it feels like your identity is a little too tied to the status of your relationship.
Dude, exactly.
Whereas like, if you found a hobby that you could really get into, you would have like an outlet that was not your identity.
Yeah, and you got to chill on this shit too, because I don't think you're very happy being poly.
Well, I wouldn't say.
I'm just saying.
I wouldn't comment that way, but more so of like, I think that's too much of your focus. Whereas like, my focus isn't being straight or like being married. Like my focus isn't just like that's my whole identity is like that I'm married to a guy.
Yeah.
Like I have like interests and I have work and I have like, things that I do. Like this is a part of me. Like this is my family.
So that's what I'm trying to say. Because now we've heard from this person multiple times. And what we've heard the most is that they're poly. And to me, like you're so much more than that. It's not just about that.
Right.
So like if you could just find those little intricacies.
Like, don't lead with that.
Exactly.
Like, I wouldn't lead with, like, hi, I'm Nikki, and I'm a straight woman.
Exactly. Like, you're about, like, hey, I'm into poker. I'm like, hey, I'm into crypto. I do, like, I tuber scum shit.
And, like,
I have cats. Like, I do tuber scum shit. I make the world a worse place to live in. Like, stuff like that. Whereas most people just, it's like, oh, well, I think most people get excited when they hear I'm poly, for example.
Yeah.
And I don't know that this is a fact, but it sounds like it. And they go, oh, well, that's what I lead with. And so then you get what you expect, right?
It also sounds like you could be getting addicted to the chaos. Like not even bad. Addicted, but like that's what's most familiar to you.
Yeah.
So without even realizing it, you're just manifesting these situations where there's chaos all the time.
You fly by night at all times.
Yeah, because like you don't know how to like thrive if it was peaceful.
Yeah.
And I think maybe discovering what that is for you, like a thing that you can do alone for 5 hours that has nothing to do with relationships, friendships, or otherwise. It's just a creative hobby that you get into. Maybe it's writing, maybe it's painting, maybe it's improv class, pottery, like something where it's just like
maybe you
can turn
letters.
your brain off for 5 hours and just focus on you and like you making something that has nothing to do with anything else in your life. Yeah. Or I even got into like jigsaw puzzles over the winter.
Yes, you sure did.
And it took my mind off everything in a meditative way where like I could shut the world off and just be doing a puzzle for 5 hours. And it sounds like that's kind of a waste of time, but it's not. It resets your mind in a way that you need it to, because like sometimes it can get way too cluttery up there and you're just not efficient in any capacity in your life when there's too much clutter. And doing something that puts you in kind of like a meditative state, or like the zone as they call it, where like all your focus is being put towards something that has nothing to do with anything else you think about.
Love that.
It like puts you in a state of clarity where like you can just think clearer. You're also just not so dependent on other people's opinions of you, or like what's going on in their lives, and like, oh, this person's trying to screw me because they did this, and like, you know, my roommates might try to fuck me over. It's like you're just going to take things as they come in the present and, you know, problem solve in the moment. And I think it's a thing you develop over time, and it's like a muscle. And if you're not exercising that muscle, then you start going to more toxic things that are like almost like substitutes for that muscle. Like instead of getting clarity, you're cluttering your mind so you don't have to think about anything. You know, it's like you're cluttering it with this chaos. If that makes sense.
The most interesting thing about you, I get where you're coming from, because like for her, it's like she's poly. So like when she gets the most attention, right? But there's definitely, that's not like the whole story.
Oh yeah.
So
like there's so much more to you than that.
Exactly.
100%. I think we're saying the same thing. Exactly. Is like just building out your identity where it's not just about you being poly.
Exactly. And
you have other things going on for you that like your whole identity isn't based on who you're dating. It's like you have you're a whole person.
And we put it like that because you just said, hey, like, I would love it if when I said that, people didn't just focus on that.
Yeah.
But like, that is what.
So don't leave with that.
Exactly.
It's like if I had huge tits and I got implants to make them bigger, and then I wore a low-cut shirt everywhere and mashed them together with a bra.
Oh my God.
And it's like, why do people only look at my boobs? Like and it's like, yeah, on the one hand, there's way more to you than your boobs, but that's what you're showcasing.
Yeah.
And like maybe wear a sweater and see if people react differently, and then like I'm not trying to tell you cover up this aspect of yourself.
We're just trying to tell you get real big boobs.
I'm just saying
get real big ones.
Stop, you're gonna confuse her. Like I'm just in this analogy. I'm just saying you're leading with something that you don't want people to focus on.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm not saying cover that aspect up.
Yeah.
But like don't lead with it.
100%.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yep. Love it.
So anyway,
good luck to you.
Hope that works for you.
And we hope you get real big titties.
We hope you get really big titties and that you send pics.
We do. We really do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Even bigger titties, more cleavage.
Oh my God. It'd be so great.
Maybe if you leave with your titties, like people won't talk about you being poly.
Oh my God, they won't. I don't think they will actually. I really don't.
Yeah, so.
It's a great idea.
Either a hobby or huge tits.
Ass tits, yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be fine.
That's solid advice.
That's such good advice.
We are not experts, but that's maybe we pretty good.
But maybe we are.
Pretty good.
Actually.
Anyway, I am excited to know what your next era
the next
will be like.
We can't wait.
And thank you for continuing to update us on on the saga. We really appreciate that.
100%.
And you're more than your status in a relationship or your orientation. And we hope you find what you're looking for in a way that's like deeply meaningful, like to the core of your being and who you are as a person.
Deep, yeah.
And on that note, check out our Patreon. Give us send us a question if you have any questions. There are a few more we will address in the next episode.
Yes.
podcast@nikki.limo. Maybe we'll make it all the way into May or get caught up in real time on the questions.
We'll do it.
podcast@nikki.lamo. And you can ask about any topic. A lot of people ask about relationships. And we have been in a relationship for quite a long time.
Yes.
And we love to offer insight. But, if you have questions about how to make a good sandwich, I could try to answer you about that too.
Exactly.
So I got a lot of, I'm a wealth of information.
No question about it.
That maybe is accurate.
Yeah.
So hit us up and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Good night and bye-bye.